Hey guys, Divyanka here from Our Journey at Home. I'm so happy to welcome you all in the online basic grammar program. So, this is my official welcome. I hope you have received the welcome email. And now let's get started with module 1, that is parts of speech. And in that, today we are going to learn chapter 1, that is about articles. Okay. So let's move on to the module. So module 1, parts of speech. Now first let's see what parts of speech are. Okay. In the English language, all the words are divided into 8 or 9 parts of speech. Now why 8 or 9? Because sometimes articles is considered as a parts of speech. Otherwise, in some schools they are left out as a separate topic. Okay. So either there are 8 or there are 9 parts of speech. Okay. So for the sake of these lessons, we are going to consider there are 9 parts of speech. Okay. All of these parts of speech have different roles in a sentence. Some words can be placed into 2 or more groups. Like some words can be noun as well as a verb, and sometimes those can also be an adverb. Okay, so there are some specific words like that, but as you progress through the lessons you will come to know what those words are. Okay, so there are 9 parts of speech that we are going to learn in the coming lessons. Let's say it out loud what the parts of speech are. They are noun, verb, adjective, adverb, interjection, pronoun, conjunction, preposition, and articles. Okay, so to give the definition of each parts of speech in a nutshell, I have shared a parts of speech song in the learning resources for this module. Okay, so under this video you will find a PDF in which the song will be present. So you can just go through that song and understand the short definitions of each parts of speech. Okay, now let's move on to our chapter 1, that is articles. Now each big topic is called as module. Okay, and under that module we will have different chapters to understand and learn the subtopics. Okay, so the big topic here is module 1, that is parts of speech, and under that now each of these 9 parts of speech will have 9 chapters. Okay, so I hope this is clear how the format is going to stay for the next few lessons. Okay, so what is an article in the English language? If you remember, this is the most basic thing that we teach when we start grammar with our little children. Okay, we teach them a, and the rules. Okay, so articles are small but important words in the English language. Articles are considered as adjectives because they modify or help describe nouns. So basically articles are a or a, and the. These are the 3 articles. Now they are used to describe a noun. They are used before to describe a noun. So there are 2 types of articles. The first one is indefinite, which has a and an, and the second one is definite, which has the. You also need to know when not to use an article. Okay, so there are some rules that we are going to learn moving forward in this lesson. So there are 3 articles, a, an, and the, and these 3 articles are classified into 2 types: indefinite and definite. In indefinite, a and an comes, and in definite, the article comes. Okay, so now let's see one by one. So what are indefinite? articles, a and an. The words a and an are called indefinite articles. We can use them with singular nouns to talk about any single person or thing. Deciding which indefinite article to place in front of a word depends upon the initial sound of the word and not the first letter of the word. So this is the most important and the most basic rule that we have to teach children. Okay. So when to use a and an, how to decide that? We have to decide that based on the initial sound of the word. Okay, so in phonics we teach them initial or the beginning sounds of each words. So this comes into play here. Okay, we don't have to see the letter. Okay, we have to consider the sound of that word, the initial sound. Now when to use a is used before words beginning with a consonant sound. Okay, or which is not the basic short vowel sound. So in phonics we learn the short vowel sound. Basically vowels have a short vowel sound as well as the long vowel sound. So if the vowel is giving a long vowel sound or other than a short vowel sound, then it will be considered as a consonant sound, right? So for example, a usual, a student, a doctor, a hotel. Okay, so all of these are singular nouns that talk about a single person or a single thing, and we are considering the sound. Okay, if the sound is a consonant sound of the noun, then we use a before the noun, right? Now when to use an? The article an should be placed before words that begin with a vowel sound. So the initial sound should be a short vowel sound of a, e, I, o or u. So an R, an elephant, an actor, an ice cream, right? So here if you see H, you must have had this question for a long time, that why we write an before H. Okay, so there is no such reason for that, but it is considered that it sounds out correctly when we say an R instead of AR. Okay, so an R. The article an should be placed before words that begin with the vowel sound. The initial sounds should be A, E, I, O, U of the letters A, E, I, O, U. So an R here because H comes into play. Then an elephant, A is the E sound. An actor, A is the A sound. An ice cream, I is the long vowel sound of I. Okay, so the first initial sound of ice is I, right? So now let's see what are definite articles. So definite article means using the article the. The definite article the generally specifies and identifies. It answers the question which one. Okay, it is used for a specific person, a specific place or a specific thing that is already mentioned in the sentence. The definite article though means this or that. Okay, so during the conversation the listener as well as the speaker knows about that specific thing, which is denoted by the words this or that. Okay, now it can be used with both singular and plural nouns. What is a noun? A noun is what is a noun? A noun is a naming word. Okay, we are going to learn that in chapter 2, but for the simple definition of noun, it is a naming word. any name of a person, a place, animal, or things is considered a noun. Okay, a noun is first introduced with the indefinite article, and the definite article is used to refer to it again. Okay, so how is that relevant? For this example, yes, that is the exact book that I was talking about. Here, the is used as a definite article. Okay, and then that is used again as a definite article, right? So, if you think about this conversation as someone asked the person, is this the book? Then the other person replies, yes, that is the exact book that I was talking about, right? So, in the first question, we used an indefinite article, and in the second answer of that question, we use the definite article, right? So, I hope what the basic definition of articles a, and the are. Now let's see the next one. What are the uses or how to differentiate between a and the? Now in this, what I have done is I have separated the rules from the uses. Okay, so depending on which school the child is or how the curriculum for grammar is in their schools, you can decide how deeply you want to teach this topic. Okay, so make sure that you are coordinating your teaching at home with the school syllabus. Okay, don't go far and beyond just because you know it or you understand it or you have the resources. Teach only that is relevant in the schools. Okay, any which ways the children are going to learn all of these details moving forward in their classes. Okay, now let's see a and the, how to differentiate between the two. So a and is used for objects that are not specific or one of several things of a similar type. For example, a phone. I need a phone. Here, a phone is not a specific object. It has several other objects that are similar to its type. Okay. Now, the used for specific objects or objects that both the speaker and listener know about. Like in the previous example, book is a specific object and they were knowing about which book they are talking. Cool. The next one is used the first time when we introduce an object. So we use a or an when we first time introduce the object in the conversation. For example, I saw a movie last night. Okay, we are introducing a movie first time. Now used when we mention the object again. Okay, for example, the movie is based on a real life incident. When we first introduced the movie, we said, I saw a movie last night. And now when we are mentioning it again, we are saying the movie is based on a real life incident. Okay. Then a or an is used as synonyms for the number 1. So that means a specific object. Okay. They bought a computer. And the is used before plural countries or other plural regions and bodies of waters. For example, the Netherlands. Now, a or an is used to indicate one of a group. For example, she is a singer. Now, who is she? Is it specified? No, it's not specific. So, she is a singer. Singer is a group. Okay. So O is used before the noun single. Now the used before certain adjectives to give a plural meaning. For example, the rich. Now rich is an adjective which is describing the noun. So the rich people or the rich man. In here, the is used to describe the plural meaning of that adjective. Okay. Then we will see how to use articles, okay, in sentences. So here I have given some use cases, and examples. So what are use cases? Means how to use it when the sentence is to be said or written. Okay. So a or an is to be used before words beginning with a consonant sound. Okay. Here the word a map, a lamp, a cat. Man begins with a consonant sound mo. A lamb begins with the consonant sound lo. A cat, the word cat begins with the consonant sound k. Okay, so these consonant sounds, when they are present in the noun word, then we use o before that noun. Secondly, use before words that begin with a vowel sound. Okay, so an is used before words that begin with a vowel sound. An apple, an eraser, an umbrella. Okay, the third usage is a or an should agree with the first sound in the adjectives or the adverb adjective combination which stands before a noun. So now let's first see what an adjective is, what an adverb is, so we can explain the examples. So adjective is a word that describes a noun or a pronoun. Okay. Pronoun means he, she, they, like that. So adjective is a word that describes a noun or a pronoun. And what is an adverb? Adverb describes a verb or an adjective and tells us when, how, where, how much, and of what frequency. Okay, so let's see the example to understand that. The first is an 80-year-old man. So what is 80-year? How much? The adverb that we are understanding. Old is an adjective and man is a noun. So the article an is used here. An 80-year-old man. And the second example, a golden necklace. Why is it a golden necklace? Golden is an adjective which begins with a consonant sound. Okay, G is the sound for letter G. So a golden necklace. Adjective is golden and the noun is necklace. So I hope this is clear. The next usage is use a before words, letters, numbers which sound like they begin with a consonant even if the first letter is a vowel. Okay, and euro, a euro, a university, a one. Now if you see, the initial sounds of each of these words feel like they are not the basic vowel sounds, right? So hence they are considered as the consonant sound. So in that cases we have to use o before those words, and use an before words, letters or numbers which sound like they start with a vowel even if the first letter is a consonant. Okay, so an R, an F, and ate. Okay, so here we feel. Now these two use cases is basically dependent on how you feel when you're saying that word. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to have that consonant or the vowel sound. So here you have to keep in mind how you feel while saying that word. So OR is correct or an R is correct. What do you feel? An R is correct. Okay. O8 is correct or an 8 is correct. An 8 is correct. So here in both of these use cases, we have to think about how we are feeling about the consonant sound and the vowel sound. Okay. Now this is more in depth, the rules for using articles. Now let's go over them. There are 12 rules in all. Let's go over them one by one very quickly. Okay. So the first rule is must be used before words which begin with a vowel sound pronounced with the same sound as the y or like sound. Okay, like we saw in this example, euro. Okay, y sound or the v sound. Now, what is the difference between these usage examples and these rules? Okay, basically, it will depend again on the school that if they just want to uh, teach the children about the usage of articles, or they want to go in depth and teach them all the 12 rules for the articles o and an. Okay, so there are these 12 rules. Now depending on what the school teaches, you have to change your teaching accordingly at home, right? So the first rule is clear. A must be used before words which begin with the vowel sound pronounced same as the y sound or the v sound. Cool. The second rule is sometimes an is found before words beginning with the letter H. So we have seen this: an R, an honor, an hair, right? So we write an before the words that begin with the letter H. The third thing, we use an before abbreviations that begin with the vowel sound. For example, an MA student, an MBBS student, an MSc student. Okay, so we write an before the abbreviations. The fourth rule is a or an must be used before a singular noun standing for things that can be counted. So basically, a or an must be used for the countable or the uncountable nouns. Basically, a chair, an umbrella, a bottle of water. Now, a chair is a singular noun which can be counted. An umbrella can be counted. A bottle of water can be counted. So we use a or an before the singular nouns for the things that can be counted. What is the fifth rule? A or an must be used before the name of professions. Okay, for example, a director, an editor, a teacher, a doctor. Very simple and straightforward. What is the sixth rule? When you mean a typical example, use a or an. What does that mean? A cat drinks milk. Okay, so this is the specific cat that we are talking about. So a cat drinks milk. This is a general statement. Okay, a dog is sitting on the floor. Again, it is a very generic statement. So here we are using a cat, a dog, right? O and an. The seventh rule is when we have the words such plus a or an plus noun or such plus a or an plus adjective plus noun. Okay, for example, such a policy. Okay, you have such a great policy. So that will become such a great is the adjective, policy is the noun. Such a long trip. Such a long is the adjective, trip is the noun. Oh, such a great teacher. Such a great teacher. It can either be such plus article plus noun or such plus article plus adjective plus noun. The following word, the eighth rule is the following word has an indefinite article. So plus adjective plus an article and a noun. So boring a book. So beautiful an actress. So these are very few use cases for this rule, but still we need to learn that rule. The ninth rule is few. The words few and little are negative in their meaning, and we use a few and a little when they are positive in their meaning and mean some. Okay, so he is young and has little experience of life. Now if you see here, the word little is used and not a little. Okay, why? Because here the sentence has a negative meaning to it. Okay, hence only the word little is used instead of a little. Okay, so the next rule, the 10th rule is in its original numerical sense of 1. Okay, we use a or an for its numerical sense of 1. Not a word was said. Okay, so here the meaning is not even a single word or one word was said. Okay, so hence the article o is used before the word. 12 inches make a foot. So a foot, 1 foot, hence it is the article used here is a foot. Okay. The 11th rule is a or an is equal to one thing or one person. Okay. So basically she works in a hospital. I have got a puppy. Okay. Here the nouns mean one thing or one person. Now the last rule here is we use a or an when we say what a thing or a person is. Okay, so Coca-Cola is a beverage. Here, what Coca-Cola is, it is a beverage. So here, a beverage. O is used as the article. A dog is a domestic animal. Now here, a dog, because it is a specific person or a thing or an animal, and what it is a domestic animal. So here we are specifying what that noun is, what that thing or person is, what that animal is. So it is a domestic animal, hence here the article o is used. Now let's see some use cases of the article the in geographical names. Basically, the is used for very specific articles, hence it is considered as the definite article. Okay. So for example, the direction regions, we say the north, the south, the east and the west. Like that. Then we use it for groups of islands, the Philippines, the Caribbean. Then we use it for groups of lakes, the Great Lakes. So here if you see, I have given some examples for when to use the in the geographical names. Now you are going to receive the PDF notes of this very same slides, and you can like go through it, make notes or write your definitions or write your understanding around this. You don't need to take each and every note in a separate notebook, but if you do, that's also awesome, but there is no specific need for it. Okay, so you can just go through all the geographical names present here. So we have unions of countries or states, we have seas, rivers, then we have poles, polar regions, oceans, then we have desert, republics, gulfs. Okay, so those are the geographical regions, geographical names where we need to use the article, definite article, the. Okay, now let's see when to use no article, meaning when we should not write or use any article. Now there are 7, I think. There are 7 use cases for that. So what is the first one? When we are talking about things in general, okay, so milk is good for you. So here, excuse me, so here we are not using any article to describe milk because it is not specific. We are talking about that thing in generic form. The second one is when we are talking about sports and games. Okay, so let's go and play basketball. We don't need to add any article like play a basketball, play an basketball, play the basketball. No need. We just say let's go and play basketball. We don't need to use any article before the names of countries, Japan, France, Italy, etc., except for the UK and US. Now why we have to use the? Because it is a, what is it? It is a union of countries or states, as we saw here. The United States of America, the United Kingdom. Okay, so here except those unions, we don't have to use any article before the names of other countries. We don't use any article before the name of a language. So we are learning English. Okay, so we don't say we are learning a English or we are learning an English, we are learning the English. What we say it, we are learning English. Okay, we don't need to use any article before the name of a language. The next one here is we don't need to use any article before the names of railway stations when they are also the place's name. Okay, so like Dadar, Kolhapur, Himachal. If you see, these are the places or cities' name as well as the names of their own railway stations. So we don't use a Dadar, the Dadar. We do not use any article and we just mention the place. The next one here is we do not use any article before the names of any meals. So for example, they invited some friends to dinner. We don't say some friends to a dinner, to the dinner, or to an dinner. Okay, we just say it dinner. So they invited some friends to dinner. And the last one here is we don't use any article before noun or a noun plus number. Okay, so for example, the laboratory is in room 6 on the 3rd floor. So here room 6 is noun plus number. And we don't say the laboratory is in a room 6 or in the room 6. No, we just say it without an article. The laboratory is in room 6 on the 3rd floor. Okay, so that's it. Those are the rules and the use cases for all the 3 articles. So what are articles? Articles are basically words that are used before noun. Okay, and what are they divided into? They are divided into 2 types. Indefinite and definite articles. So in indefinite articles we have o and an, and in definite articles after that we have seen the rules and the use cases for a and an and the. Okay, now let's see the hands-on activity idea first. So now if you see here on the right side, there is a pink ribbon in which the code is written. Okay, so n-1 slash a-1-1. So now what does this code represent? Okay, so n-1 stands for module 1. After that slash a1 1 means activity 1 of chapter 1. Okay, so there are these codes, these specific numbers which are given on the specific activity sheets. Okay, so you know which activity is for which topic or which chapter. Okay, so this article picture cards are for module 1 parts of speech, and it is the first activity of the first chapter. So activity 1 of chapter 1. So I hope this denotation or the code is clear, and you will see the code on the activity pages same at the right corner top. Okay, so what is the first hands-on activity idea? It is about the article picture cards. Okay, so I have given some pictures, approximately I think there are 50 pictures, and then there are these article cards. Okay, now how to use these cards is to cut them up into individual pieces, both the article cards as well as the picture cards. Okay, cut them up and then do different kinds of activities like matching. So matching the picture with the correct article, then sorting them. So give them 3 categories, A, and the, and ask them to sort pictures into the correct category using the correct articles. Or what you can do is use the picture cards and the picture words into sentences by also using the correct article in that sentence. Okay, or you can even play the game a minute to win it. Okay, so you give them the picture cards, you put a timer for a minute, and you ask them to say the articles for those pictures in a minute. So they need to cover as many as they can, and they need to say it very fast. Okay, so the score should keep on increasing every time you practice this game. Okay, so I hope this will be a super fun idea, super fun activity to play with the child, and one single activity can be played in almost 3 to 4 different ways. Okay, so for these activity sheets also you can find it under the video in a PDF format. You can just click on that and then download them. Okay, now the next activity here is the article board game. So the first activity I would suggest for grade 1 and 2, and the second activity I would suggest for grade 3 and 4. Okay, again same here on the right ribbon we have given the code for that activity, and on the activity sheets also we have given the same code. So here what that code is: module 1 activity 2 of chapter 1. Okay, so this is the second activity of the chapter 1, that is articles. So here it's a simple board game. You need counters and a dice to play this game. You have to start here and finish here, and then there are some rules written over here. So you have to follow the rules and keep on moving, and if you say something wrong you need to go back, and if you give a strike of 3 for wrong articles, then you need to go back to the starting position. Okay, so what the activity is basically to complete the sentences to move ahead in the game, and if you complete the sentence incorrectly you need to go back, and if you strike 3 of wrong answers then you need to go back to the starting position. So I feel this is also another fun game to play with children who are a little bit older and who understand what the board games are, how to take turns, how to follow the rules, and how to follow the directions. Okay. So I hope this is clear. The activities are clear and the lessons are clear. If you have any doubt, you can always reach out to me in the Facebook group or on the email as well. Okay. So take care, guys. I'll see you in the next chapter that will be about prepositions, right? So the next chapter will be about prepositions.